Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about Anthony Fantano's worst review, and this is his review on Halsey's The Great Impersonator. Now, I did make a video about this exact same topic before, but I did delete it because I didn't listen to the album beforehand. And yes, I realize how stupid that is because I should have listened to the album before even making the video in the first place, but now I actually have, and I feel like I can actually give my 2 cents on things. So, do I still agree with most of the stuff I said in that original video? Yes, I still think it's a horribly misguided review. He should have taken another crack at looking at the lyrics and just better understanding the album, because once you look into the grand scheme of things, it's not whiny or very main character syndrome at all. And in fact, what's the problem with an album being very personal and about you? First of all, many albums are very personal and main character syndrome, if you want to call it like that, if you want to say it like that. But that's not really a dig, in my opinion, but yet he tries to treat it as if it's an insult when it's not really an insult, because again, she's being very personal and talking about her issues with cancer, with a divorce, and going to raise a toddler all at the same time. Like, it is fucking insane what she had to go through, and also many other personal issues. Like, this album is basically all about that, and about her struggles, and I think that's the best part of the album, about the subject matter, and the lyrics on a lot of these songs are very personal, very good, in my opinion. But as I said, again, I feel like he just kind of disregards a lot of the stuff and says, oh, it's just whiny. Like, I'm sorry, like, I can understand how you can maybe take that away from some of these songs, because yes, it does feel like she kind of lashes out unnecessarily at other people at points that are just treated like a little bit better than her. But it makes sense because a lot of people do that. It's pretty normal to do that because, when you're treated like shit, or when something awful happens to you, you wonder, why couldn't, the worst part is like wondering like why this couldn't happen to somebody else, but the good part is like, why couldn't I be treated as good as this person, or stuff like that. Like, it's a pretty normal thought to have. Like, and I think just calling that whiny and childish is really, really dumb, and again, horribly misguided. And I will still agree with one of my other previous points as well. I think all the people calling him a misogynist for this review are really, really dumb. I'm sorry. It's just really not true at all. If you just take a look at any of his past, like, 10 out of 10s, all 3 of his recent 10 out of 10s have been to female artists. So that alone should just prove that, he doesn't really think that, men are all better than women and all that, and again, being a misogynist, because again, he gives very high reviews to female artists. Like, he doesn't exclude female artists from high reviews. I feel like some people try to make him out to be like this, like, awful person that hates women. Like, no, he gives equal reviews for the most part to a lot of artists. I will say that sometimes he does kind of go into reviews kind of disliking an artist already and then just judging the review based on that. And I feel like that is like, come on. But, as I said, I don't think he's a misogynist for simply giving a female artist a bad score. Like, I'm sorry. Yes, it is a frustrating review to go through, but I still don't think that makes him a misogynist. I will say, let's actually get to, the album itself and how it sounds. It's fine. It's honestly not all that memorable. I think the most memorable parts are the lyrics, and I think that is the most important part of the album. But as I said, musically, it isn't all that special, I will say. There are some good guitar tones on this album, I feel. They're kind of weird. I don't think they get like super experimental or anything, but they're weird. They're nice. But I do also like the synth on the opening track. But honestly, I'm not a huge fan of Halsey's voice. Maybe I just need to get into more pop music or something like that. But again, I'm just not the biggest fan of Halsey's voice. She can hit high notes, though, and I will say that. Like, she has a decently good voice. I'm just not the biggest fan of it, especially on some of the stripped down tracks where I feel like she's trying to go for a kind of country kind of tone to her voice, or kind of like a southern accent kind of thing, and I don't know, that kind of rubs me the wrong way. Again, maybe it's because I just don't like country music, and I really don't, but again, like, I'm not the biggest fan of her voice or anything, or just the music in general on this album. I think it's okay, and that's about it. Like, again, I don't think that it really is the main takeaway from this album, though. Again, I think the most important part is the lyrics, and I think that is what should be mainly taken away from this album, and not, the actual music at most points. Because yes, some of it is very stripped back, and I do like that. It's not all pop, which is nice. But again, I think the lyrics are where it's at. So yeah, that's basically it. I will see you guys later. Goodbye.